Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have my client here, Sylvia Aquino. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yes, Aquino.
Aquino. Okay, because I would say Aquino, but that's like
Aquino
my,
in Spanish, but
yeah,
most
yeah,
here everyone says Aquino, so I've grown
exactly.
accustomed. Mhm.
Sylvia, you're in New Jersey.
I am.
What part of New Jersey?
I'm in northern New Jersey. I live in a place called Forest Hill.
Okay,
It's part of the city of Newark, so everyone knows Newark Airport mostly.
okay,
Um,
awesome. So if
yep.
anybody has a referral for a buyer or a seller in real estate up in the Newark area, I guess Sylvia is your girl.
Yeah, so I cover northern and central New Jersey.
Perfect. So Sylvia, I asked you to come out and do a quick interview because you told me that this 2022 is your first year working real estate full time.
Correct. Yes.
And you've taken 6 listings this year.
Yes.
Last year, you were working real estate part-time and you were working with buyers. So this listing side of the business is something new that you've been focusing on this year.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
I actually didn't even consider working the listing aspect of real estate,
Hmm.
believe it or not, because I felt like buyers were easier to come by. You know, like they were. They were. I got a lot of referrals from uh, uh, family members and friends, and then those
Mhm.
referrals turned into referrals themselves. And I was able to do pretty, a good job with my buyers. And, it was just so much work,
Oh, I was gonna
especially.
say with this crazy market the way it was last year, I don't know how it was in your area,
It
but
was a
multiple
nightmare,
offers all over the place.
a
It's
nightmare.
Offers are not easy in general. This is a tough market to work with buyers, but
Yeah,
you did
it was.
well.
Yeah, so I did, and I was just exhausted. I was physically, mentally drained, especially because of the market conditions, and my clients were like going nuts. They couldn't. Every offer we submitted was taken, and I'm like, there's got to be a different way. Like I just can't do this. So
Mm.
um, I ran into you with your Tina Call interview, or one
Yeah,
of them,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh my God, she sounds like me.
Oh
And
my.
I mean, your story just resonated with what was going on in my life. And I just said, hey, I got to do something. This has got to be it. And I joined your platform, which has been a blessing.
Okay, very good. So Sylvia, you told me, which is amazing, before you got into real estate, and you said you joined a brokerage firm December 31st, 2020. So really last year, first year part-time, this year full-time, and you were in healthcare for 23 years.
I was, I
And you
was.
actually you decided to leave that career in 2022.
Yes.
How?
So I at the end of 2021, I left, and I actually started full time. Yes. So the beginning of 2022. Um, yeah, I just figured, I'm dedicating my time, and I'm dedicating, 8 to 10 hours a day to growing and, sustaining someone else's business. And
Mm,
I'm like, I'm a business owner. Why am I not doing that for myself?
wow.
So what I did was I cashed out my 401k, and I said, listen, I'm going to make this money back. And if I need something to fall on until I get this stuff together, this is what I'm going to do. And I said, bye, arrivederci.
Yeah.
And here I am. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I'm
incredible.
glad.
I love what you said, the realization that you are an entrepreneur. Your real estate license gives you, you're a business owner and you get to work for yourself. And
Exactly.
um, Sylvia, what have you been? No, you joined my platform. All I talk about is listings because that's what's going to give you control of your time, your mental health, and your money, all of it. So, what have you learned this year that has helped you take 6 listings so far? What are you doing for agents that are watching that have been working with buyers and have been eh, struggling because it's not easy. Regardless of the market, buyers take up a long time. What have you been doing that other agents can learn from and apply to their businesses too to get listings?
Well, to be honest, Jackie, I think educating yourself is such a huge asset to your sellers. So when you are an educated agent, they see the difference. I'm not just here to list your property. I'm here to show you what's going on in the market and how we're going to sell your property to get you that top market price. But you need to be familiar with your MLS. You need to be familiar with what the market's, what's going on in the market. And those things are imperative. So if I can give somebody a word of advice would be one, join this platform because the resources are unremarkable. I don't know what I would do without it.
I didn't ask you to say that, so I
You did
appreciate it.
not. You did not, but we talk about it all the time. We have many breakout groups that have organically been created through your platform. And we literally are like this little army of agents from all across the world because you have people from, Canada, you have people from Portugal, that are on the platform. So, from everywhere. And we literally support one another. It's not just what you give us, but what we give each other, which is huge. And I really appreciate that. So one, I would say join this platform. To be an educated real estate agent. I think it's huge if you don't know where to start, that you have a brokerage that is going to show you where to start, that you can go to your broker and say, listen, I want to find out how I can get an absorption rate, right? And show what that means to my client. Those things are big, and just be educated and be in a community of people that are like-minded, right? Because like you say, mindset is the beginning of everything, right? We have to have our minds right to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Sylvia, when it comes to the listings you've taken, what are you doing to take these listings?
Well, I will say this. I love talking to for sale by owners. I've never listed one. They've all been expired. I don't do a lot of neighborhood calls. I know that's part of it, but I think I'm so obsessed with getting that one FISBO finally that that's who I want to call. Like that's who I practice my scripts. That's who I'm obsessed with it. Like I have to get just the one and then it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's how I
Right,
feel.
exactly. So the listings you've taken are expired.
They are, and believe it
That's
or not,
amazing, though. That's great.
they're all expired. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. So my very first listing was a for sale by owner,
Okay.
but I did not. The buyer I was working with knew the for sale by owner, and I handled both sides of the transaction. I
Oh,
didn't have to pitch anything, so I don't really claim that one, like,
okay, I got it. That one
yeah,
kind of was handed because the buyer already had seen the house. Okay, so your
yeah.
listings have been expired. I know you want to list FISBOs, and you have to because I mean you're working with me. How could you not?
Yes,
You
exactly.
gotta master that side of it. I'm obsessed with wholesale wellness. But let's talk about the expireds you listed because I say this all the time. Expireds are the easiest. You want a listing today, there's no better. As much as I love for sale owners, there's no better person for you to call than an expired listing. And at the same time, I'm well aware that a lot of agents are afraid of calling expireds because they're not necessarily the friendliest people. So talk to us about your experience with expireds, what you could offer agents that they should do so they could list expireds too.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's so funny. I talk to Lily a lot, obviously, and I'll talk about my very last expired, which
So,
was
so that
August.
people watching know who Lily is. She's another one of my clients in my platform. I talked to Lily yesterday too. She's amazing.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
go on.
So on in August, the beginning of August, I'll talk about my very last expired. The very beginning of August, I called and expired, and the very same day that they came off early. And he answers the phone and he tells me, he brushes me off kind of, and he's like, listen, I just got off work and I just don't have the time to speak to you right now. And I'm like, I guess he works nights, right? And he's like, call me on Tuesday. And, I couldn't get more out of him, but I kept his information, jotted it down, and I followed up with him on Tuesday. I called him and actually I called him and he did not answer. So I did what Lily Rivas does, and I used your script and text him a message.
Okay.
And my message pretty much said, "Hi, this is Sylvia. We spoke last week. You asked me to follow up with you regarding your expired listing, and when you have a moment, give me a call." But I gave him obviously more details regarding the script. Um, and maybe like 2 or 3 hours later, he calls me and he says, "Hi, this is such and such. And, you're the agent I spoke to last week." And I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, "Oh, great." He was like, "Can you meet me at the property?" And I'm like, I didn't have to pitch much to him. "Can you meet me at the property? I want you to take a look at it." So I'm like, all right, let me prequal him because I'm not
Right.
going to
Before I
drive.
run out the door.
It's not a far drive, but I did, and he was like in a hurry and kind of trying to brush me off. It's a rental, so it's a income property.
Yes.
So I met him there, and he takes me beautiful home. Signs the paperwork with no problem. Like there was like no issue. Like he's like, I just want to sell it. Like I'm over it. So the one thing he was stuck on is he had to get a certain price for the property. And I'm like, I understand what you want. This is what the market is showing us. So I told you that you have to definitely be educated enough to bring that to the table to show them that this is what the market is showing us. And this is what I would recommend. So between this and this, where do you think we can list it? And he chose, the 735, which I recommended, even though he's like, "But I'm not going to take less than 750." I'm like, listen, 735 looks better than 750, and you're opening up to a ton of buyers, right? We're going to get this property sold. So yeah, that was my last expired. And once again, your script, follow up, which is imperative, because they might say no today, but
Right.
tomorrow might be a different story. Just try. It's not going to hurt to try. I got a listing and it's off a text message, and the guy called me back.
Sylvia, has it sold? Do you have it under contract? What's going on with it?
No, it's
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's not budging. It was definitely overpriced, but there is a little shift in the market for the
Yeah.
better in that area. So
Okay.
um, I'm hoping that it's only been a month, so hopefully.
Well, and you know what I teach too. You gotta stay in touch. You gotta do updated market analysis, and if it's not selling, you need to adjust the price. I have to say this though, for somebody listening, they're like, well, that sounds like it was kind of easy, even though he didn't really talk to you the first day. But to send a text message, he calls you back, he invites you, he signs right away. It's expireds are not always that easy, are they?
No, they are a very rude bunch. I mean,
Okay.
I've especially here. I don't know if anyone lives
No,
in
but
Jersey.
actually, I was gonna say, oh, so no, they're not just rude in South Florida. Oh, okay.
No, no, they are a different breed here, and sometimes you get beaten up, and there's days that you'll talk, especially the beginning of the month where you have a ton of expireds.
Yeah.
You get that's I call it beat up day. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get beat up today because
Yeah,
it's
that's okay though. You end up setting appointments and taking listings. but it's not that they're rude, just, I mean, some of them might just be rude, period. They're just frustrated.
Frustrated.
Yeah, they're
Once you
fed
get
up with all the agents calling. They're not happy their house didn't sell. I mean, think about it. If I was in that situation, honestly, I'd probably be kind of rude when my phone doesn't stop ringing and I get all these agents calling. So it's understandable.
Yeah, I think if you can get past that initial attack on you being agent number three, number four, whatever, if you're
Yeah.
not number one, you're up there, right?
Yeah.
So once you get past and with your script, you're able to do that because it tends to kind of calm them down a little bit. I guess that's why I feel like expired a little bit easier for me. You know,
Uh-huh.
once you master that script and you're able to break that initial, I guess, glass ceiling or that door down, you're able to talk to them and you realize like they're just angry at the whole situation. In this red hot market, their house did not sell. You know, be understanding, listen, you know, just sound concerned.
Sylvia, have you used, because you just started full time this year, have you used any other scripts or you just use my script? You could tell me honestly, I didn't ask you this ahead of time, so I have no idea what you're gonna say.
So I never used a script other than your script. I want to say that when I started, like I said, I just worked with buyers. I did a buyer consultation and we figured out what they wanted and we searched. I did not have to know any scripts. I was just working with buyers. So
Right.
when I finally joined the platform and I saw everything that I was going to have to internalize, I will say this, I was one of those people who slacked off and didn't do what I needed to do right away,
Mhm.
which I'm kicking myself in the rear now because I'm like, I could have been like up here and now I'm playing catch up.
That's okay.
Um,
It's everything takes everything in its own time. I'd rather you start right away, but it's okay. You're on it now. So go ahead.
yes, yes. So yeah, I mean, I would say it's something that I wouldn't know what else to use because it's the only thing I've ever had, right? So
Well, it's
um
working for you, so that's great. I
yeah,
say that because obviously the people watching this on YouTube, they're hearing a million different things, use that script, use this script. And I would imagine, I used a lot of different scripts when I was selling real estate before I actually came up with what you have now in sales X training. And that's what I give my clients is what got me 150 FISBO and expired listings a year for several years. And it
yeah,
was by trial and error. But I do, obviously, I'm biased towards my scripts, but they're just direct. And I think that works well for you too, because you sound like a very direct person. And,
yes,
and in the end, when you call an expired or even a for sale by owner and they don't know who you are, they're like, I I know that they want somebody who is straight to the point. This is what I'm calling about and speaks to what it is they're looking for.
absolutely.
So very good. Sylvia, so for Silver Owners is the next sort of little challenge for you, huh?
I do have one that I am, you know, following up relentlessly with. I was fortunate enough to get a for sale by owner who is selling not just one property, but two on his own. And I just keep following up and just having that conversation and making sure that he realizes that I'm on top of the game. Every now and then, you know, I give him a little nugget of, you know, what's going on in the market once again, just to keep him informed. And so he knows that I am the expert that he needs to come to when it's time to list his property. So yeah, I'm claiming him.
Sylvia,
He's
what
mine.
are some things, I know you said it's great to have a broker that helps you with stats and so on. On your own, what have you done to become more knowledgeable of the market? That for a brand new agent, they're listening, is like, okay, what should I be doing? What advice would you give them so they gain this knowledge and confidence and they could show up as an expert to their clients?
Well, I mean, our NAR is a resource that I don't think many agents take full advantage of, right? Because they are on it. They release so much information. And if you just dedicate, let's say 15 minutes of your morning to really reading something that they've just released, that's you being a lot more knowledgeable about what's going on in the market than
100%.
just going in blind and talking nonsense, because some people are very educated and you're going to show up in someone's house and they're going to know exactly what's going on in the market.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, oh, really? Like,
Yeah.
how are you going to have a seller teach you, the expert,
Yeah.
about what's going on in the market?
No way, absolutely. I love what you said. NAR, by the way, National Association of Realtors. If you're a new agent, you're like, okay, what's NAR? National Association of Realtors. What I love about what you said is it's so simple. You're a realtor, you're a member of the local board of realtors automatically, or a member of NAR, you have a login. They're publishing articles, so much great information, research, surveys, all kinds of stuff, all related to real estate. It's your business. It's our responsibility to be the expert. Like you said, you can show up somewhere and the seller knows more than you do. That's not going to work well.
Pretty
So
embarrassing too. I don't want to be in that position ever.
yeah, I know, 100%. Girl, congratulations. It's amazing that you've taken on listings your first year full time. And I am looking forward to hearing about all those, the first FISBO you're gonna list, or two, because the
Oh,
one.
I'm gonna blast it on our platform.
Oh,
That's for
I know you
sure.
are. Well, you gotta get that appointment. So you, as
Yes,
you know, just stay focused on setting the appointment. And I know there'll be many more to come after that. Thank you so much for taking the time, Sylvia. I really appreciate it. And I trust everybody watching
Jackie.
will be inspired and go out and start making some calls to expired listings, right?
Yes, get them. They are ready.
I know.
Ready.
I know. Amazing source of business. Thanks, Sylvia. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.